program to bring you this important message.
Yo, it's Remember the Show. Slick with the flows, where the sparring can go. Who's gonna be on, man, you never will know. Guess you better tune in, cause we live from Chicago. Belal Muhammad, that's the king of the tweets. Jason Anik looks like John, step his hands to his feet. Every Thursday, we gon' give you a treat. It's Remember the Show, hit play and repeat. And retweet, and retweet, and retweet. And retweet, it's Remember the Show, hit play and repeat.
Yes, happy Thursday night. It isn't a Thursday night without Remember the Show. He's the UFC welterweight champion, Belal. Remember the Hamid. Belal, remember the name Muhammad. My name is Jason Anik. Appreciate you being with us live on a Thursday night. Nice lid, kid. What's happening out in Chicago?
Yeah, new drop. Make sure you guys get it, man. JohnAnik.com, guys. Support the team.
Dude, looking lean as usual. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Back in the gym, feeling right. Got a couple guys with fights coming up. So just trying to stay active. And, Chicago is perfect weather right now. It's fall weather. So I like this fall weather more than, too hot for summer or too cold for winter. It's like the perfect time in Chicago to like hit the stairs and run and stuff.
Yeah, we know you don't love the cold, but I would think the summer heat running those stairs because you do sort of embrace the work ethic. You don't mind that Chicago heat in terms of training, I would assume.
No, but like our gym gets so hot. Like there's no air conditioning in it. We take the trenches in there, so it gets so sweaty. But right now, like the perfect time. So like if you wear a long sleeve to practice, you'll get a good sweat in. Fall in Chicago is the best.
I love it. So yeah, new merch available at johnanik.com. Use code BULLY, 15% off. Bunch of new lids out there, but I guess I can't wear a hat because I guess with this studio, I guess it covers up my face or whatever it is. So good to see you, bro. So Sphere happened. And then it's like, I've never been more excited for fights. I know we don't get a lot of UFC weeks off, but after Sphere, bro, it's like, I cannot wait for this weekend. I'm not alone, I assume.
Bro, it's like so boring. It was like Saturday and I was looking at like, you're trying to find a show to watch or something like that. And it's like, I was literally sitting there on a Saturday and I was about to go to sleep like at 9 p.m. because I had like nothing to do. I was like, bro, both baseball teams suck in Chicago. The Bears aren't on until Sunday. And it was like, Saturday was like the worst time. I was like, all right, I just can't wait till tomorrow. At least we get football.
And it really is interesting for me because I haven't necessarily been a UFC fan my entire life per se, right? So this is something that wasn't always a part of my life. And now I'm like fiending for it. I can't wait for this weekend. We'll get to that card later. We'll get a couple Bics out of the welterweight champion of the world. But let's get right into it. So yes, we will talk about UFC Fight Night in Paris this weekend, but you will be wheels up to the next pay-per-view, I believe, Salt Lake City. Get some training in and at altitude. So talk to me when you leave and what's happening 307.
Yeah, excited. I go next week. I think I'm probably going down Wednesday. But we're actually being Juliana's corner. So that's going to be cool.
As in you will be a corner man.
Yeah, corner man.
Okay, breaking news.
Our record. We got a good record, a corner record. So to be a part of that, it's going to be huge.
So you have not always cornered Juliana. Is that correct?
No, this will be my first time cornering.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if I'm Juliana Peña, okay. So you can tell us whatever the circumstances are, but if I'm Juliana Peña, it's like, yeah, welterweight champion of the world, you can come corner me. And shout out Juliana Peña wearing Joe Romero's Bullies Beatdown design. She took her way to Manchester. So I love it. But any circumstances you can reveal as to how you ended up in that corner?
No, I mean, obviously we're on the same team. We've been working together. And then especially this camp, being able to watch her and see stuff that I would give her advice on. And I take more of a coaching role. So I coached a couple times a week at the gym on specific days. And she liked what she saw. She likes my mentality. And obviously, if I told her if I could bring anything to the table, of course, I would love to help her. So like, obviously Mike Valley's at the helms. He's the one in charge. So I'm just a fourth eye in the group. I was going to be there anyway to support her. So just to be in the corner now, to be able to shout, tell her if I see anything close by, it's a different level of looking now. Now it's a different pressure because now I'm focused on Raquel and I'm watching full tapes on her. I'm trying to break her down a little bit more, see if I find any little tricks that I could see that we could exploit.
So I wasn't intending on going here, but Tisha Pennington, her wife, is competing on the same card. And I may be making too much of this, but I think Diego Lopez sort of has a very close relationship with the camp, and when you're in the last main event, right? So for me, when I'm watching that last main event, Diego Lopez goes out at Sphere, right? And then you get Valentina coming out, right? So for me, I'm just curious, do you have any impact on the two women sort of competing on the same night? What if Tisha has a rough night and Raquel's in the back? Talk to me.
Yeah, honestly, we've seen it before, right? We've seen it with the Pettis brothers, and I was able to ask them about it because I think they fought on each other's same card twice. Once they both won, and then the one before that, when Anthony lost the title fight, Sergio got knocked out earlier, and he said that did take an effect. And he said, "I never want to fight on the same card as him again." I mean, for you to see your wife fight earlier, it's difficult. Obviously, you're going to feel that pressure. You're ready to co-main event. You're fighting for the title. You're defending your title, but now you have to sit there and hope that your wife comes out healthy. I don't think it's a smart idea to fight on the same card. There's no way you can't not feel pressure, extra pressure. But maybe it's cool to have each other in camp, but fight week, I think it'll be harder.
And the Grasso name was escaping me there, but even Diego Lopez getting a win, you wonder what the emotions are with Alexa Grasso. He comes out sort of late in the corner, whatever it may be. But I can't wait to see what happens out in Salt Lake City. Bully B's a busy man, right? This is a whole new dynamic, right? I'm sure there's some appearances for the welterweight champion for those fans that want to meet the new king. Yes.
Yeah, we'll be busy out there. We'll be working out. I think I'll literally go from like a VIP section in the arena right into the corner, so that'd be cool,
dude.
But yeah, for myself, I like to stay busy. I like to work, and I want to bring another belt back to Chicago. So we're not leaving empty-handed.
And it's a fascinating matchup, and we're going to talk about women's bantamweight 135 in a moment. So let's move on to a really interesting fight that just got recently announced. And if we're talking about the men's bantamweight division, I will quickly just say that we both agree that Umar deserves Merab next. So glad that seems like that's probably going to happen. But Petr Yan returns to action against Davison Figueiredo, 135, 5-round bantamweight main event, Macau, China, November 23rd. Give me all of this. Fascinating matchup. Certainly putting Petr Yan, former champ, back in the picture. Both these guys sort of back in the picture, depending on what happens with Umar and Merab. So what a fight. I'm sure you're excited about it.
Oh, yeah. This is a huge fight for the division, especially for Merab, who was calling out Figgy. So if I'm Petr Yan, I go out there and I beat him. It's like, now I get a chance at a rematch, right? Because Merab beat him pretty handily. So if it ends up being Umar that fights Merab and beats Merab, then it's new blood there. Now you got Yan against Umar. Or even if it is Merab that ends up staying the champion, you have Yan could fight for that rematch. Like, you could call for it because this guy was calling for Figgy. And Figgy, ex-champion, he's looked great at 135. But man, I don't know, skill for skill, Yan is one of the most talented fighters in the UFC. And I don't think there's not a lot of guys that can beat him. There has to be a specific style and a way to beat him. It's not easy, right? You have to – he's not a guy that you're just going to go in there and knock out, or a guy that you're going to go in there and finish. So I think for Figgy, he better be in really good shape.
It's interesting, and maybe 135 puts Figgy in a better chance to be in good shape. So interesting point there. All right, let's get right back to women's bantamweight at 135. All right, so Kayla Harrison. Been on Remember the Show a couple times. She will also be competing, if I'm not mistaken, in Salt Lake City, right? So she's been on Remember the Show. I love everything about Kayla Harrison. If you watch the Anik and Florian podcast this week, John had a lot of superlatives about her. She just doesn't take herself too seriously, right? She did like karaoke on our show, right? I really love her. And did she oppose Juliana Peña on our show, or have they just
picked Amanda Nunez?
Oh, wait, say that again?
She picked Amanda Nunez when the first time they fought.
That's right. Okay, that's what it was, right? So,
they were opponents. Yeah, they ended up playing against each other. Yeah,
okay.
That was a good call.
So for me, with the utmost respect to Ketlin Vieira and Raquel Pennington, the opponent, and Raquel Pennington, the bantamweight champion, but I have such an appetite for Kayla Harrison, Juliana Peña. I'm not trying to get ahead of it. I just have this vision of Belal Muhammad, who really is not an instigator, but I just have the feeling you're going to end up in a room with like both of them and like something, not necessarily going down, right? But I just have this sense I'm going to see the three of you on some video somewhere.
I don't even want to imagine like the awkwardness, because like you said, I'm cool with Kayla, but Juliana's all about loyalty. Like, you can't talk to anybody that's against her or that's even in her division. So I got to stay loyal to Juliana, of course. But like you said, the build up to that fight would be huge. The way that both of them talk trash, the way that both of them are loud, right? They don't care what anybody thinks of them. I think for both of them to win, that's like one of the biggest fights you can make in women's MMA.
I agree. And that's sort of the rub, right? And that's kind of where I was going, is that I do not want to look past this. And I'm really interested to see Raquel Pennington and Peña fight. For me, it's like, for us, like old heads, it's a little bit like of a sneaky old school matchup. Not as much as the legendary matchup coming up at MSG that has no stakes, right? With Stipe and John Jones. Don't even get me started on that. I know we went on it last week, but it's like, I just don't care. I know everybody else cares. I don't care. All right. Next topic. Really going to enjoy this one. What's that? Shav. We should have figured out a way not to put that, but well documented, Belal, that I love me some new Mansa, Joaquin Buckley, right? He's as captivating for me on the microphone as he is in the octagon. I don't love necessarily calling out Conor McGregor, right? He will face Wonder Boy at 307, also in Salt Lake City. So, New Mansa always got mad love for Belal Muhammad, even when he was not in the welterweight debate, right? Mad love for Belal at middleweight, mad love at welterweight. So some words, courtesy of MMA Junkie, about the welterweight champion of the world. I think, I have my Belal button ready to go, but I guess it doesn't want to work today. But some words from Joaquin Buckley. Talking about Shavkat Rakhmonov, potentially the number one contender at welterweight. Quote, first off, I've shouted out that Shavkat has never been as good as people claim. But, I feel like he's definitely going to get exposed eventually. If that's not by me, that's definitely going to be by Belal. And I guess I would just say to you, right, you've talked about Shavkat's sort of lack of a strength of schedule. So I'm sure you came across Joaquin Buckley's comments. So you're holding the throne. Talk to me about Shavkat and Buckley's thoughts on him.
That's crazy. I didn't actually see that. I didn't see Buckley's comments, but shout out to Buckley.
One doesn't know. Oh, yeah. Oh, New Mansa always got your back. I love that I'm bringing that to you.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. And we had Joey Diaz on the podcast today saying that I was his favorite fighter. So shout out to Uncle Joey over there.
Yeah.
Uncle Diaz, baby. That was huge. That was fun. But yeah, I mean, I think for most fighters, right? A lot of fans, they look at a guy and they see a record and they'll say 18-0, 18 finishes. Obviously, it's a great record, but when you look deep into the record and you're looking at guys and the time that they beat him and the guys that he's actually fought, and then you're looking at, even when he beat them guys, or how many rounds was it, or this or that. Like, I look deep into everything. I don't look at the hype. I look at skill. And when I look at him and I look at myself, I don't think there's anywhere where I look at where I'm worried. But that's also for me looking at everybody in the welterweight division. I think I break him down easily. And I think I break down all these guys easily. But for myself, it's always having to prove it, right? Everybody always will say what they want to say, and then I end up doing it and I beat them, and then you realize, oh, he was right, or he wasn't as good as we thought. I think that's what it's going to be the case with Shavkat. If we get in the cage with him, I'm going to break him down. I'm going to show you that there's levels to this. And then people are going to say, who's next? Well, he won't do that to Ian Gary. He won't do that to New Mansa. He won't do that to these guys, right? There's always going to be that talk. But for myself, it's like, none of that really matters. The record doesn't matter. The only record that matters is the next fight.
We've had a lot of conversations, right? And you see our fifth topic, game show. Yeah, we got a game show here on Remember the Show. But you and I have talked and had some really interesting conversations about the existing belt, right? And sort of what's next, right? And first, let me ask you, is the belt coming to Salt Lake City? Do they dare ask you to bring it with you?
No, I would not bring it.
Yeah, exactly. I knew that's the answer that was coming. But we've had a lot of interesting conversations and maybe touch on a little bit last week. But really, the word defending, right? Word defending doesn't apply, right? Next time you make that walk to the octagon, there's a belt in the building, two guys competing for it. That's a new belt, correct?
100%. Yeah. I'm not sitting there comfortable. Oh, I got my belt. I'm taking it everywhere with me. Let me see it. It's like, nah, this is a new fight. Your next fight is your biggest fight. Your next fight is your title fight. This is a new title fight for me. Whatever it is, whoever it is, we're both fighting for it. And it's not like mine and he can snatch it from me. No, I'm going to snatch it from him.
Yeah.
Snatch something up already. He already snatched something. Look.
Wow. Wow. I don't really have the words, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the presence of greatness. I don't know if you can hear me, DJ. You got me?
I can hear you. Yeah. I'm looking at y'all like John Anik don't have good ass hair like that. That's his brother.
Appreciate it. Well, he could certainly have it if he wanted to, but nobody needs to be introduced to this man. One of the greatest, if not the greatest pound for pound mixed martial artist of all time, recently retired. So much love for you. So much appreciation for coming on. The champion Belal Muhammad is here. Welcome, Demetrius Johnson, to Remember the Show, brother.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you guys. Belal, what's going on? And Jason, nice to meet you too, brother.
You too, man.
What's up, brother? How you feeling?
Good. Just I thought I was gonna be at my son's jiu-jitsu, but I have the other two. I have my middle and my daughter, so I'm in a kitchen where it's nice and quiet right now.
Joined by another legend, Gerald Mershart the third. Dude, little growth in here. Not the mustache, not standing out as much tonight. Always a pleasure to see you.
Hey, what's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
Good.
Mighty Mouse, question. Did you see the quote today from the Pound for Pound podcast where DC was going at it with What's your take on it?
About John Jones and Michael Jordan status?
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the two athletes, like I truly believe John Jones is one of the best fighters in mixed martial arts. I truly felt like each time he fought somebody, he could have finished them whenever he want. But then when you look at like the later years of John Jones' career, like the fight with Anthony Smith, the fight with Thor, the fight with Dominic Reyes, like those fights weren't as exciting as his Alex Gustafsson when he fought Vitor Belfort, his younger years, right? He kind of never really developed him. I don't want to say developed himself, but it was nothing like, me at the end of my career, I'm doing flying armbar. And in my career, I'm doing a flying knee, a world title fight, right? So I would say if you look at whose skill set kind of developed over time, I would say mine did. Where you look at Michael Jordan, I feel like his skill set kept on developing, and he was helping everybody else around him. So it's two different sports, but I can understand where Daniel Cormier is coming from. Like, you look at this, we're not just looking at the time where John Jones was killing people. We're looking at the whole tire of John Jones' career. So when we look at that, yes, he's been undefeated, but there's a couple of times where it's like, dude, he's getting fucking worked. And I got worked too in my fights. I've been knocked out, but it's over time, it's showing excellency of like, wow, look at that flying arbor. Holy shit, flying knee. John Jones kind of did the same thing. When he fought, Cyril Gane, he took him down and guillotined him. There was nothing, surprised him. Like, I knew he could do that because he's so far ahead, and I don't think he had to blow up to 265 to do that to him. So that's my opinion, but I still think he's one of the greatest, but I want to put him on the level of Michael Jordan.
So you agree with DC? You think that you're the Michael Jordan?
No, I never said I'm the Michael Jordan.
DC said it. DC put your name out there on Instagram. He's like, nah, DJ.
Oh, shit, I appreciate you, DC. I didn't see that part. No, I mean, in all fairness, like I said, I look at it as like, hey, when I look at an athlete, I look at myself as a martial artist. Like, I'm continuing to, even though I'm retired for the sport of mixed martial arts, I'm still trying to get better at martial arts, which is jiu-jitsu. And I'm challenging myself in the gi every single day. Like, we're in a gym today doing some drilling from side control, mountain, S-mount, doing some chokes in there, drop back from the arm bar. I don't think there's people out there who've achieved what I have who are still trying to develop the overall game as a martial artist. So that's just my opinion, right? But people are like, doesn't matter. He wins all of them. That's fine, but I want to see somebody who's progressively getting better and showing me new things that their game is getting better. So we'll see how things go between him and Stipe. I'm excited to see it and go from there.
Michael Jordan came back and played for the Wizards. So, like, would there be a chance for you to come back?
No, man, I'm good. I'm good. Like, I was at the last one championship fight in Denver, Colorado, and seeing all those guys cut weight and all that stuff. I was like, damn, man. I was like, I think my last YouTube sponsorship and payout was probably bigger than all your guys' checks. So, no, I'm good. I'm good.
GM3. Well, it's so good seeing your face, bro.
What's up, man? How you been?
Another newbie that comes into the UFC with hype.
Hey,
it's on your plate. How does it feel? Do you just say yes? Do you just be like, oh, you know who he was? Or you're like,
yeah. Of course I knew who he was. One of my teammates fought him twice. And actually, before my fight a little bit, he was out here. He was at the gym a little bit training with us. So we've actually been acquainted before. And I like the matchup. I think it'll be a fun fight. And I always love to challenge myself and test myself. So what better way to do that than a former 2-division champion?
Did you do anything to celebrate the record?
To celebrate the record
For most finishes in middleweight?
Oh, I got another fight booked.
Literally lose like,
just
bro,
congratulate
Gerald, just give me some of those finishes.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah. I'll do something after this one, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm a pretty low-key person when it comes to all that stuff. I mean, Belal knows what it is, and I identify a lot with what Demetrius was saying before, because I'm also hiding in my office, and I got the dogs and my kid getting ready for bed in the other room, so I'm hoping they don't start freaking out while we got this going on. So I'm sure, hopefully we don't hear them while we're doing this. But yeah, oh, there we go. So I'll, probably take a vacation and go up north to the cabin in the woods for a little bit after this next fight, and that'll probably be my little celebration.
I love it.
Did you get any work with Brennan this camp?
Yeah, worked with him a little bit. Our last few times, like, he's always coming in when I'm tapering down, or he's tapering down when I'm coming, or like beginning a camp. But he was there probably for the last month of me finishing up my camp, and he's looking good. He's looking strong. He's, I think people don't really realize how big he is for 85, and I think that's going to shut down a lot of Imavov's game, but I'm excited for him. I'm excited to see him get in there in a co-main event spot in a big arena like that, so it should be fun on Saturday.
So, Bully, you going to throw him to the fire or what? You want to ask him about these fights this weekend? You're going to throw him in the fire?
I like the fire. I like the games, This is your first time on the show, DJ. Gerald's been on the show before. He's lost, but he's also won. So
I'm also won.
I said you also won.
Didn't you lose picking against DJ before? We want to bring up losses. Didn't you get outpicked by DJ last time?
Chill out. This is my show. We gotta have another.
All right, so DJ, the rules are really just for you. Shout bully if you know the answer. It's a lot like Jeopardy. Your buzzer is bully. If you get the wrong answer, points go to your opponent. Correct answer, you get the points. But shout bully. That's all you got to remember. Can't wait. Gentlemen.
A lot has changed since the last time you were on the show, Gerald. We got sponsorship now, so the winner of this gets a gift card to Young LA. That sports brand wear that you can ever buy.
$5 gift card.
You can stop shopping at Marshall's and you can get yourself some Young LA.
Hey, bro, don't hate the TJ Maxx fit. I got the dad wear on. I'm ready to go. I'm all buttoned up.
Oh, I love it. It's fucking hilarious.
Categories for today, guys. First category, name scramble. Every fighter got a name. The letters are just scrambled. You just got to unscramble them. Second category, face mash. So these are two fighter faces mashed together. You got to tell me which two fighters they are. This has two fighters. Old farts. Since both of you guys, since DJ, you're retired, you're getting to that older age. So these are fighters with an old filter. You got to tell me which fighter it is. And then read the emojis. So Mighty Mouse. You got to tell me which fighter it is read it from the emojis. That was a nice little one I got for you, Jason.
I love it. I was just saying we got to get Mighty Mouse's face in the screen. Jeez, put me behind the logo. Anyway, I don't know. I'm running.
DJ, you're here first. Let's you get to pick the first category, but either one of you guys is the same bully.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna go ahead with name scramble for 300.
Okay, it's going bigger. Let's go.
Bully.
Ooh.
Oh, that was close. There's a
it's too close, Gerald. I love you, but we got to give it to DJ. Honestly, we could run it back. DJ, that's you.
That is Umar Nurmagomedov.
There we go. Okay, it looks like we have ourselves a game here.
Gotta be ready.
Mighty Mouse starts out hard. You're up, Mighty.
Let's go. I'm gonna keep the streak going. Let's go read the emoji for 100.
Read the emoji for 100.
Bully.
Fuck.
Gerald.
That's Paul Felder.
Let's go. Okay.
The Irish Dragon, also known as the Irish Lung. Iron though.
Gerald. It's Keeps.
Let's do old farts for 300.
Ooh.
This is a good one. Which fighter is this?
Bully.
DJ.
That is Steven Wonderboy Thompson.
Woo! DJ's quick with it.
Kind of looks like his pop, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say his traps ain't that big. I seen him in person. Those traps. Let's go ahead. Let's go to face mash for 300.
All right, 2 fighter faces here. These are hard.
Oh, bully.
DJ.
That is Ray Borg, and who else's face is that? That's Ray Borg. Oh my god, I don't know who else is that. All that guy's Ray Borg.
I'm just gonna tell that is way off. You're not. Gerald, you have a guess? You get the points, Gerald.
Oh, man.
But these are great, man. I mean, like, I feel like I'm seeing a little Pedro Munoz in there, but maybe not. That's off too.
I was at Yair Rodriguez and Adrian Yanez.
Hey, that was close. It was wrong, but it was close. It was
okay. Okay.
Ray Borg. That was an old school freaking guess right there, DJ.
I mean, it just looked like the hair was like spot on.
You're up, Gerald.
All right, let's go read the emojis for 200.
200, all right.
Bully.
Ooh. Who said it?
Me.
I think Joe.
Oh, Gerald.
Is it Rose Namajunas?
What?
No, there's Rose in there.
I thought I was trying to look for the thug in there.
Blessed, Hawaii Flowers.
Oh, that was my other guess.
Oh,
man.
Okay.
That was a good one.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
That wasn't even a rose, Gerald.
We have specific flowers for emojis now? What the?
Yeah, believe it or not, they do. When I found out they have men that are pregnant for emojis, I was like, this is too much. It's too much. Let's go name scramble for 400.
Name scramble 400.
Ooh. Oh, got it.
Bully.
Fuck.
Got it. Got it is not a quick buzzer. Gerald.
Oh, I know.
Dan Hooker.
Ooh, that's a big 4.
I love it.
We got a tie game here. Gerald, you're up.
Let's go name scramble for 200.
Name scramble 200.
Bully.
Gerald.
Corey Sandhagen.
Woo! He's rolling now.
He on fire.
This Young LA gift card has your name all over it, Gerald.
I can't wait for those 3-inch inseam shorts. Let's finish out the name scramble for 100.
Ooh.
I thought this was an easy one.
Well, this is hard. The other ones.
I love it.
Oh,
I love it.
Bully.
Gerald.
Love it.
Anderson Silva.
Amazing. And Anderson just
at all.
He's
shout out
rolling
Big
now.
Game Show.
Now we got to go on. Let's try old farts for 200.
Old Farts 200.
Bully.
Bully. Fuck.
Gerald.
Nick Diaz.
Poor Nick.
Great.
You roll it, man. Gerald, let's go.
Old farts for 400.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Bully. Can you
DJ.
zoom in more? Oh, that looks like. Oh my God, what is that? I'm gonna go with Conor McGregor.
Come on, DJ.
Interesting guess. Interesting guess, though, isn't it? I mean,
He is Irish.
Who is it?
Ian Gary.
Ian Gary. Ah.
He's gonna love that answer.
Oh, man. We need some points here, DJ. You're up, Gerald.
I know.
Let's do read the emojis for 400.
Read the emojis 400.
good one, man. Tough.
Oh, here it is.
Bully.
Gerald.
Michael Chandler.
Oh!
Ah.
He's at the gym right now. I gotta get that one.
Dude, nice.
That was a good one.
Read the emojis for 300.
Come on, DJ.
I know I need something.
Is this a hardcore match? Is this a trick question?
Yeah, ladder.
He's a
hammer,
lightweight.
Uh,
It's his nickname.
his nickname is Ladder Hammer Chair.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what?
What?
He just signed a fight to fight Chase.
Oh,
Hoover.
Bully.
Gerald.
Nathan Landwehr.
What?
It sounds like his last name.
Could have been a train maybe somewhere in there for
The Carpenter.
Yeah.
What's his name? I
Oh,
just
the
saw
carpenter. What does a chair have to do with carpentry?
What do you do with carpentry? You
You build frames for houses. You don't build chairs.
Yeah.
What have you ever gone to a carpenter and be like, hey man, I need a really sweet rocking chair built?
Right. You need a ladder to build that chair too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I need
you on the board. It don't matter.
Yeah, I need all. Yeah, even though I get all these points, I won't win. But I'm gonna go ahead and go with face smash for 400. That's what's his name?
Boy,
Gerald.
that's Gilbert Burns and Nacho.
Oh, how did you get that one? That was a good one.
Ignacio Bujamandes.
That's his.
Dude, that's hilarious. Man. That one.
I'm not gonna lie, DJ. For being the Michael Jordan of MMA, you're getting killed right now.
Oh, I
You're
love
up,
that.
Oh, let's do face mash for 200. I know what Jesus, that is haunting.
Yeah, it is.
Yikes.
Oh, that's Bully.
DJ.
Okay, the hairline and the forehead's Michael Chandler.
Damn.
And then the face is Chama.
Hey, let's go.
Oh man.
We're back.
Good man.
See you at the top.
Chandler. Hey, sweetie. It was the hairline that gave it away, boys.
He said the hairline's Michael Chandler.
Oh, Bully.
DJ.
Oh yeah, that is Yuri, and the face looks like, you know what? I'm gonna go. Ooh, that kind of looks like it's on the.
You got it, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Yuri, and then there's two people, but I'm probably getting it wrong. It's either Belal or it's either it's Tom Aspinall. There it is. Yuri.
Oh, there we go.
Either
Oh
Belal or
man.
Aspinall, one of the two. I love it.
Yuri Aspinall. Bully.
Oh, you got it.
DJ.
That's Daniel Cormier's old ass, and that's all.
That was it. There's
Daniel
DC.
Cormier.
That's hilarious.
Oh man, that was a good game. But Gerald, even though he came out hard, you got the victory. Another legend beaten by Gerald. Now we can get you some nicer looking clothes. And
Hey, man.
That young la.
You can't do better than this. $20 on Amazon. I even got the stickers from the doctor still on somewhere on here.
But hey, appreciate both of you guys. DJ, you're a legend. You're the man. Thank you for coming on. Gerald, you're the man. I'll get you your gift card. I'll message you.
Man, appreciate you.
Hey, you're very welcome, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Had a good time.
Thank
Dude,
you,
much love for both you guys. Appreciate you.
Likewise.
Thanks, man.
Peace out, guys.
Later, boys. Dude, gotta love it. Gerald, you were talking some smack, but good game show out of him.
Yeah, Gerald's good, man. I gotta bring it back on.
Dude, it's just
You gotta have like
fascinating.
another champions league again.
Yeah, we talked about doing this, and obviously you have more important things to do, like continue to win professional sports championships. But we talked about doing like a bracket and different things, and I think that has some legs. But I will say, like when John found out, my brother John found out that you had Mighty Mouse on, the Anik and Florian podcast done 500 episodes. I think Mighty Mouse was on maybe episode 3 back in 2015. And John today to me, he was like, "That's my dream guest." So I was going to shout out Mighty Mouse on that. I said, but maybe an announcer can't lock up one of the greats of all time like a champion can. You know what I mean? So
It takes a lot of DM work to get these guys.
and you've been sliding up into DMs well before you were in the rankings,
It's always funny when you go back to the DMs and then like you look back and it has like 5 different messages to the same person, but they start replying now that you're champion.
Yeah, I love it. Exactly. And it's interesting, right? Like you think about a show like this, right? And you have all these podcasts out there, right? And as much as I want to ask Demetrious Johnson and Gerald to break down the main event this weekend, right? It's like, I like Cutting It Clean Game Show because you can be sure we got our guy Belal to break down these fights, and he knows everybody, every fight in the roster. So Cody, without further ado, show me that green love. Get the bullies. So I will say, right, if we went through this whole fight card here we never tell you what we're going to talk about, what fights, and we never need to prep you. If we went through all 14 fights, you would literally be able to like break down all 14 fights, right? Probably I could pick a few fighters with respect that I don't know on this card, but my guy Belal, it doesn't matter. We pick the most random fight. Correct me if I'm wrong. You would know probably both sides and remember their last performance.
I mean, 100%. Just because I was like salivating at this card, I'm like, well, I need a fight card right now. We haven't had one in a week, and it feels like it's been like a year.
So we're going to break down the co-main and the main event, but I want to just shout out a couple fights on this card. All right. So first, right, Ray Longo minute on the Anik Florian podcast, going to go to Paris with Matt Frivola. So I guess I'm not really just asking you for a pick, but that's an interesting fight. Who does Frivola have? Faris Zayam? Forgive me if I'm Faras Zayam. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but close fight on paper. Ray Longo going to Paris. I love it. So any thoughts on that one? That's not really one we're going to pick, but I just want to pick your brain.
I mean, that's an exciting one for both guys, right? Zayam got a nice little streak going right now. He's a long striker. And, Frivola, you fought the guy that was in the main event, right? You had a nice little run going, then you got dropped by him. So he needs to pick up right here. And for Zayam to fight in his country, it's going to be huge for him. Maybe it's extra pressure on him. But I think for him, this is that good test to see if he belongs in there with the top guys in the division. And for one of these guys, they're going to be cut off. The other guy is going to be moving on up.
So before we get to the co-main and the main event, and forgive me for doing this, Belal, but you know that other than you, right, and other than a lot of the guys I know, Ludovic Klein, also on this card, is one of my favorite fighters who I've been tracking for a while. I know you're aware of him, right? So he gets Roosevelt Roberts here on sort of short notice, and he's like minus 1,000, right? So obviously, Ignacio Balmones has faced him in the past, right? For those of you gamblers out there, this guy, Ludovic Klein, right? No value minus 1,000, but I think you can get him minus 135 to win by knockout, maybe get him in the first or second round. But this guy, Klein, is legit. You agree?
Oh, no, 100%. He's really good. And I mean, his last fight, he dominated Moises, and he's got a long streak going right now. And for anybody who beats Nacho, I know how good Nacho is. So I'm glad that he's continuing to win, and he has a long streak. I think he's like a 5 or 6 fight winning streak right now. And you always pay attention to those guys, right? There you go again. So I've been watching him. He's been good. Even with this fight, it's a short notice fight, but even before that, they really didn't have a better match. I figured him to fight a ranked lightweight, but they didn't even give him a ranked lightweight. Yep. So for Roosevelt, I think it's like the second or third fight in a row that he's taken on short notice. He is good, right? But it's like he hasn't had a full camp. You're going all the way to France, and Ludovic's a killer. It's going to be a tough matchup for him. And I just think Ludovic's just been getting better every single fight. I think it's going to be a tough night at the office for him. I like Ludovic by knockout for sure.
I love it. All right, we're going to get to the co-main and the main event, bro. Can't get enough of this. I'm just so fascinated even when you ask Gerald about Brendan Allen, right? It's like we've had Brendan on the show so often. We've talked so much about Brendan Allen that to talk to you about it, and I know sometimes it's with your heart, I'm just very fascinated to talk to you about this fight, because I know that you're going to have a lot of emotions that night. So let's get right into it. This to me is really a title eliminator of sorts. It really is. I know Sean Strickland in the picture. You got Whitaker Chimaev competing, but Brendan Allen, right? 28 years young, well-documented, right? Won 7 straight. Even the line popping up on the screen, bully, is still just like Brendan Allen, plus 180, almost 2-1 at Brendan Allen. So Nasruddin Imavov, mad respect for Imavov, right? At minus 218, right? We know Brendan Allen, 7 straight, as I said. He can finish anyone. Last time out, split decision 5-round win over Chris Curtis. I know Brendan wanted this fight to be 5 rounds. I think that could be a real factor here. 3-round fight, he gets a guy who's just physically maybe as tough a matchup as there is for Brendan. Another big guy. Gerald said Brendan's big for the division. So is Nasruddin Imavov, right? So there's got to be some reason. We always say the guys in Vegas know what they're talking about, that Imavov is favored to this extent, right? So Imavov, 29 years old. He's won 5 of 6. He had that no contest against Chris Curtis mixed in there. That sort of early stoppage against Cannonier, which is the 4th round TKO, I think he would have finished him. I know it tears at your heart, like I've said. I'm very curious to hear how you break it down. I may know where your pick is going, but Imavov is dangerous. Can Brendan get through this on his way to a title shot?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're not. A lot of people don't give this fight the respect that it deserves, right? I think both of these guys, for Brendan, he has the longest streak in the division, and they just keep disrespecting him. His last fight against Chris Curtis, people can say what they want, but it was a short notice fight, and it was fighting against a guy that knocked him out before. And like I told you guys, that's all I think to do. So even for him to go out there and beat a guy like Chris Curtis, who's just a tough matchup for any of these guys, and beat him in 5 rounds, it showed a lot. And it showed that it's not always, even if he can't finish you, he could take a decision and beat you. I thought it was a clear win for him. I don't even think it was a split decision. Imavov showed a lot his last fight. He showed to beat a guy like Cannonier, who's a tough guy to finish. And people will say what they want about the finish, but he was still looking good. But I just think that for Brendan, this is going to be the fight where people finally give him the respect he deserves. Like, he's finished a lot of these guys, right? He's beat a lot of these guys and dominated a lot of guys, but people still don't give him the respect of how good he actually is. His ground game is so good. His stand-up is really good. For Imavov, I think if he gets taken down, it's going to be a long night at the office for him. And I think for Brendan, he knows what to do. He knows the path to victory. There should have been – Imavov's striking is really good, but we've seen him get taken down by guys like Buckley before. We've seen him when he hits the ground, it's hard for him to get back up. We've seen other guys try to play that role with him. And I think even Cannonier, mindset, game plan-wise, was trying to push it to the fence and make it a dirtier, slower-paced fight. So I think if Brendan could do that and get it to the ground, I think Brendan's jiu-jitsu is 10 times better than his. I think Brendan has the best jiu-jitsu in that division behind Gerald, and they both train together. So I think if he does get him down, Brendan can get the finish here, and finally, get the respect from everybody.
So my brother had talked about, and we will make you make a formal. I assume you're picking Brendan Allen.
Yeah, I'm picking Brendan. I think Brendan finishes. He can finish him on the feet, but I think if it goes, he'll end up finishing him on the ground.
You know, and Brendan has a chin on him. That young Strappy's got a chin on him. And, you know, my brother said it's interesting how the middleweight picture has changed, right? A year ago, maybe, a year and a half ago, Brendan Allen very well could have found himself in a short notice opportunity for a championship. My brother said ad nauseum that Brendan was maybe the most dangerous opportunity against Adesanya. Really sort of, I mean, I like him maybe better against Adesanya than Imavov, dare I say, right? But, we're on the Anik and Florian podcast network. Kenny, Florian, Brian Petrie, I think both pretty heavy on Imavov, right? And I like Brendan going in there sort of against some people here. You know what I mean? And yeah, shout out Trindaddy. That's a good man right there. But yeah, the number there on Brendan Allen, hard to ignore from a betting standpoint, but hard not to root for a guy like Brendan here. And Imavov, man, a lot of these opportunities, for whichever guy doesn't come out of this victorious, as Belal Muhammad, a tough climb back up,
Yeah, and I think Brendan, the difference is Brendan knows how big this opportunity is. He's been in wars. Even before getting into the UFC, he's fought high-level guys. His level of competition that people don't see, they don't realize how good some of these guys are, some of these fights were. And then the fights that he's lost, they've been short notice fights, or he's had some injuries that people don't know about or he doesn't really cry about. But he's been calling for these big names, right? He's been asking for the bigger names at the top, but they don't give him those opportunities. I think he gets this one here. He knows it's going to be a big name. Obviously, it's rough, right? Because you have Strickland, who they're saying could be next, and then you have Whitaker against Chimaev fighting. So it's rough, right? But those guys have all fought for the title. Brendan is new blood, and if he goes out there and gets the finish here, he was calling for Duplessis before Duplessis is champion. He was asking for this fight forever. So I think he needs a big win here. It's a big stage. Like you said, the fans are hungry for a fight, and both these guys bring action. Brendan's not afraid to stand in the pocket and bang with you, right? For myself, I tell him all the time, your ground is better than 95% of these guys. Take him down and show him that. But he likes to bang. He likes to hit, and he has power in his hands. But when he hits you and you drop, he goes for the submission and he finishes. He sees blood, he finishes.
And we have talked about Brendan over the years, sort of always being young as sort of what we would lead with, but he's definitely gotten more disciplined, and the fight IQ, I think, has increased, sort of finding a path to victory. And I think if he's I think game plan is a big part, and mindset and poise, I think, for him Saturday night in Paris. So we'll be rooting for him. BA, all in. We're all in. The purple shorts will be flowing. Good luck, kid. Moving on to the main event of the evening. Appreciate all the comments. Mike Collins, see Brendan getting fight the ground, maybe getting a finish. Yeah, let's go. A lot of Brendan Allen fans. I'll remember the show tonight. Appreciate y'all commenting. All right, main event of the evening, Belal Muhammad spot you're familiar with. So Renato Moicano plus 235, I believe. Benoit Saint-Denis coming back minus 290. So Renato Moicano down in South Florida, I've gotten to know him. I've told you about that. As we know, Moicano cannot afford to lose. Moicano needs money. But what I will say, right, with this Bitcoin tour, right, maybe he just wants money. Maybe he doesn't even need money anymore, right? Certainly put himself on a platform to maybe have a career after fighting. But Moicano's been in the UFC since 2014, man. Like, that's a long road. Proud of the guy, right? He's won 5 of 6. Only loss in there was, I think, against RDA on 4 days' notice. He was drinking whiskey, I believe, when he got that phone call. So anyway, second round finish, UFC 300, Jalen Turner. Crazy night, crazy fight. But then he gets on the microphone, and obviously his star continues to grow. So his opponent might not be the best time to catch this guy. Benoit Saint-Denis, fresh off the loss at UFC 299 against Dustin Poirier in Miami. A lot of people calling him all the rage. Then Poirier gets that title shot, makes the most of that, even though he didn't emerge victorious. So just crazy, man. Benoit Saint-Denis had won 5 straight before that loss to Poirier, looking to bounce back here against my guy, Renato. I will be rooting for Renato Moicano as hard as Brendan Allen. I'm not John Anik. I'm allowed to root for these guys that I know. Belal Muhammad, very interested to hear your breakdown and your pick. Main event, UFC Paris. Talk to me.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun one. And, like you said, Saint-Denis comes the same way every single fight. Comes super hard, super fast, early, and he bangs it out. He says, obviously, even in that Poirier fight, he had a lot of moments in that fight where, if he would have fought smarter, he could have, prolonged the fight or taking a fight even further. But, he says he had staff. He says he got tired. And, Poirier is a dog, right? Moicano, we've seen him in those dog fights. We've seen him how tough he is. Even in that Jalen Turner fight, he got dropped. He got up and he finished the fight. He knows where to take the fight. And I'm interested to see how the ground game goes with both these guys, because Saint-Denis does have a really good ground game himself. And Moicano, a lot of the time he takes you to the ground, he's going for the finish or he's holding you down. I think Benoit has more power on the feet, and he's just going to come way harder. I think for Moicano, he needs to weather the storm early, take those shots and tire him out. I don't think it was a staff thing. I think it was fatigue, because Saint-Denis keeps up a crazy pace early, and I don't think you keep that pace up early, and especially coming off of a loss, he's going to come, I think, 10 times harder this time. He's going to be a motivated guy. He's going to have something to prove out there, especially fighting in France. I think that's going to be extra pressure. I think that the crowd in France is crazy anytime you go there, anytime you hear it. That could be an adrenaline dump for him, or it can hype him up early in that first round. So if I'm Moicano, I got to be ready to get dropped and hold on. I got to be ready to grab a hold of them, push it to the fence, and hold on. I think the longer the fight goes, the more chance that Moicano has to win. And we know Moicano could go 5 rounds. We know that he really wants this money. He knows that winning this fight here, it gets you a Paddy Pimblett fight. It gets you a Dan Hooker fight. Both guys are calling for him. And it gets you another main event. Losing this fight, it doesn't get you that. Losing this fight, it puts you back, right? It puts you back hard. And I think for Moicano, he's got a hot streak right now. He won on a huge stage his last fight. And for this being his main event, he knows that what he got to do. So I'm picking Moicano here. I think that he's going to play it smart. He's going to get past his first round. He's going to make it a dirty, ugly fight. And I think he's going to end up pulling it off.
The key word you use is smart, right? I am not Madison Stevens. Shout out. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the comments tonight. But Bully, man, it really is when you use the word smart and you talk about these fighters, right? It's like the one thing I know when I'm watching my boy Belal Muhammad is he's not going to get beat mentally, both in mental toughness or in game plan. You know what I'm saying? And I think I talked about it last week. It's so often where you will talk about a fight and you will just be like, I can't believe this guy did that. You know what I mean? And just
yeah.
And you're not like coming at it from a gambling standpoint, right? You have a lot of these guys, they bet on a fight and then the guy doesn't perform. And then it's like, I can't believe. You're just calling what you see.
Yeah, 100%. I'm always looking at it from that type of mindset of how I would coach somebody or how I would push somebody in a fight. I'm never looking at it like, oh, this guy's cooler, or this guy's this, or this guy's that. If I'm watching both fighters and I've seen both these guys fight, and both 90% of the time I've watched multiple fights from each guy, I'm going to give you what I would game plan, what I would do. And especially with this fight right here, it's having to get past that storm. It's going to be a hard storm. But yeah, he's not going to be able to keep that pace for 5 rounds.
I love it. For those of us junkies, we can't get enough. And for those of us old guys, I don't mind the 3:00 p.m. Eastern time main card start.
Oh, it's an early one.
Yes. Paris,
Oh,
I
okay.
believe, unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's 3 o'clock Eastern time. So pretty excited about that. And my brother John isn't calling it, so maybe I can actually watch some fights with him, which will be fun. But whenever I'm watching these fights, I'm never forgetting that my boy Belal Muhammad won the welterweight championship of the world back on July 27th. Yeah, Jared Gordon, I know y'all know, but if you don't know now, you know, whatever it is. But we appreciate y'all being with us Thursday night on Remember the Show. Safe travels to Salt Lake City. Belal, Cody Merrow, we appreciate everything on the back end. And Big Mike did the game show. Is that right?
Yeah, Big Mike.
Game show. Let's go. The emoji game getting in. Appreciate Demetrius Johnson. Appreciate Gerald Mershart the third, not Mearshart, Mershart. All love from all of us. Remember the show. We'll see you next Thursday night at 8 p.m. Enjoy the fights this weekend. Peace.